All right. New show, and we're pleased to be joined by Paul Fritschner, who does so much great work here at Chatterbox, but he does so much great work for a long time at his alma mater, Xavier University. And he is starting a new show, gambling-oriented show. Paul, how are you? Called Not2Picky. Where are you, by the way?
Well, Tom, I don't know if you can see. Let's see if I can get a good angle here. We are out here. You can see right above us there. That's the Chatterbox van. That is a trademark vehicle. I know Casey and Brandon are going to be out here later today. That is the van with which we are setting up our Chatterbox Sports Game Day show, and we're going to be live here from McNick. The show starts at 6:30. Trace Fowler and I will be calling the game tonight between Bishop Hartley and McNick. So it's going to be a fun day. It's a beautiful day. We've really lucked out with weather. I'll tell you what, Tom. It has been a few good weeks of Friday Night Football.
All right, tell us about your new show.
Yeah, absolutely. So sports gambling is starting in Ohio on January 1st. I don't think there's any secret about that. Ohio is the 8th most populous state in the country. And for my money, Tom, Ohio is going to have the best gambling laws in the country. I don't think there's really any doubt about it. When you read about what Ohio was able to do, they pushed back the legislation for so long. It was legalized by the Supreme Court in 2018. New Jersey was on the forefront of that. And Ohio took a while. They kind of dragged their feet. They thought they were going to get it done a couple of years ago. Things happened. They weren't able to get it done. COVID kind of pushed it back a little bit. They thought they were going to be able to get it done in 2020. That didn't happen. And then finally, by the end of 2021, Ohio was able to get it done. And not only did they get it done, they got it done in a big way. Ohio is going to have probably number one, if not number one, number two, the best gambling laws in the entire country for sports gambling. It's going to be a very, very good place to wager on sports. And I want to take advantage of that. I want to use my show for a few reasons. I'm going to focus on Southwest Ohio sports. So any gambling line that starts at Dayton goes down to Northern Kentucky. That includes Dayton, Wright State, Miami, Xavier, UC, FCC, the Reds, the Bengals. I'm going to give you something to look at in each one of those games. At least that's the premise of the show to start. That's going to carry us all the way through the spring for sure. I'm going to have guests on during the show. And what I'm going to do is do a Sports Gambling 101 series. So once or twice a month, depending on how it all plays out, I'm going to bring a guest on. I'm going to bring some professionals on. I'm going to bring some people that have been in the industry for a long time, some industry professionals out of Vegas. And I'm going to do a series of Sports Gambling 101 so that if you are living in Ohio, and especially in Southwest Ohio, there shouldn't be anything that catches you off guard on January 1st when sports gambling launches. So it's inclusive. It's for the professionals. It's for the degenerates. But it's also for the people that are going to be going live on January 1st.
The degenerates. I love it. That's half our office running around here. We were in here earlier and had guys talking about the Illinois spread for the weekend. I'm like, are you kidding me? Illinois? Anyway, but your show to start out is going to run a couple of days a week. How frequently? What time? Tell all our audience about that.
Absolutely. Your show's going to run from 10 to 12 every day. Mine will run from probably in the 2 o'clock range, 2 to 2:45 somewhere. We're still working on an exact time, but it's going to launch next Thursday. It'll be Mondays and Thursdays every week. We have some more content that's going to launch that's going to be announced here soon. So we're going to have a lot of content going on here at Chatterbox. But my show in particular, it's going to be Mondays and Thursdays live on YouTube in the afternoon. And then just like your show, Tom, it's going to be available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, anywhere you get your podcast so that you can listen back later. The idea is you have Monday, you can recap the weekend, especially once you get into college basketball season. That's one of my best sports to be able to look at, and you get through those midweek games. Then you look at Thursday and you can look at the weekend line. So that splits both. It's a happy medium, and it's going to start next Thursday, the 15th.
All right, looking forward to it. Now, listen, I want you to stick around, and it might be where you call us back here in a couple of minutes because you'll be off air while we take this break. But what we're going to do is we're going to make our picks for the weekend. We'll rush through the college picks, and then when we get to the pro picks, after we make them, I want to hear what Paul thinks about our picks for the weekend.
Absolutely.
So, all right, we'll check back with you here in a minute. We'll be right back on Off the Bench presented by United Dairy Farmers. We are back on Off the Bench presented by United Dairy Farmers. Nothing is worse than there's worse, but very few things over the course of a day when you run out of coffee and you can't refill it. I think I drink like 8 of those a day. I was talking to my doctor the other day. He's like, dude, So, he says all your vitals are off the charts. But how about, the caffeine? Everybody has their vices.
Everybody has their vices, man.
Monster. Monster from
Monster, by the way.
It's not good for you, I know.
We're going to get to this young lady later, but one of the women playing in the LPGA event, Jillian Hollis, that product, the only golfer they've ever sponsored was Tiger Woods. She is the second LPGA Rookie of the Year. More on her story here in a minute. Really cool story, by the way. Hits close to home. That's our cherry on top coming up at the end. All right, time now, fellas, for our weekly picks. Casey was 500 last week. Brandon, you and I were 2 under 500. We'll see how it goes this week.
Actually, Tom, I think when we went back, we looked at it, and I was 4-2, and you were 3-3.
Oh, okay,
so
because we had the Ohio U thing wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Which was my mistake.
All right, so everybody's 500 or better after week 1. Casey's in a lead. A donation to the charity of the winner's choice is coming at the end of the year. It's going to be a good donation. All right, we start with UC. 27.5-point favorite over Kennesaw State. Bearcats, Casey, Brandon.
Bearcats.
All right.
Go Cats, baby. Homer Show.
Homer Show. It's the Homer Show, presented by UDF. All right, next up.
You want to go to your favorite Homer?
Wherever you want. The Ohio University 1-0 on the year at Penn State. Penn State squeaked by. Great finishing drive to beat Indiana in the season opener, Nittany Lions home opener. I'm not good. You can just put this graphic up the rest of the year. I'm never picking against my alma mater. Bobcats cover 25.
I picked Penn State, mainly because, my grandfather ties, but also because I think they're going to whoop Bobcats butts. But
and Brandon,
sorry to do that for you. OU, oh no, against Penn State.
Okay. Oof. All right, I get it.
I got the lingo though.
If I didn't have the heart in it, I would probably go a different direction too. We'll see. The Ohio State University Buckeyes win over Notre Dame. Defense was great. Offense really turned it on in the fourth quarter, especially the run game. C.J. Stroud, the whole crew never really got it rolling. This week, I say they cover 44.5. That's a huge number. I say the Bucks cover it. Fellas?
I do too. And you know how much I don't like Ohio State, but
they're busting out this week.
Yeah, I think they busted.
Brandon?
The Arkansas State Red Wolves are going to lose by 42.
Okay. Ooh. That means that they would win. You would win. All right, we're staying local, and we have – this is a good game. Kentucky ranked number 20. Florida ranked number 12. The spread is 6.5. I think the Gators in the Swamp get it done. Fellas?
Yeah, I think so too. Florida. I watched the Utah game last weekend, and I think Richardson's ready to have a breakout year or something, man. He just looks so good in that final drive for Florida.
Okay.
Big Blue Nation covering.
Yeah, I get that. I
believe in him.
That's a tough one. Stoops is putting together a great program down there, man. I mean, he's done a great job. Alabama goes to Texas. Now, let's be honest. If any of us could go to one football game over the weekend, this would be the scene.
Not Ohio U at Penn State?
No. This would be the scene. I mean, Alabama, the Longhorns aren't ready for Alabama yet, but that crowd and that atmosphere in Austin is going to be off the charts. It's going to be fantastic. Noon kickoff, so they can't get the tailgate rolling like they would a night game. Crimson Tide cover 20. Fellas?
I have Alabama too. Just smoking Texas. I don't think Texas is ready for this game
yet.
No,
they're not.
Texas is not back. I don't know when they'll be back, but this is not it.
I tell you, moving down the road, this whole Quinn Ewers and Manning thing is going to be fascinating. Quinn Ewers a year ago was Manning a year ago. Manning, the kid who's already committed to Texas, right, of the Manning family. Mm-hmm. This Quinn Ewers, I'm not saying he's going to do great tomorrow. This is a talented dude. Paul, real quick, any of those picks for you stand out as what would be described as a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star? Are there any of those you really, really like?
Hey, I'm going to say a couple of things on those picks real quick. One is when you get those huge spreads, I'm always leery of the spreads. I always like to lean more toward the totals on those. And one total that sticks out is Arkansas State and Ohio State. I know that total was really big. But I'll tell you what, guys, Arkansas State's offense, they are putting up a ton of points. All they do is score points. I know Ohio State's defense looked better last week than maybe a lot of people were thinking. Not to say that they were going to look bad, but it was Ohio State's offense that we were constantly told about as opposed to their defense. Defense looked great last week, but I still think that you can look at that over in the Ohio State game. The other thing I would do, I'm taking Kentucky with the points. I don't hate a Kentucky money line sprinkle there. I know it's in the swamp. I know it's at Florida. I know Florida looked really good last week against Utah. I just don't know how sold I am on Utah and what that win means, and I think Kentucky is really good. I think the value is there in Kentucky on the road to sprinkle that money line a little bit.
You know what? I totally get that, Paul, because I'm not buying into Florida either. There's no chance I believe they're the 12th best team in the country. After not even being in the top 25. They had a nice win, but they were at home. And you know, like you said, I mean, Utah, I picked Utah in my top 5, but it's another Pac-12 dud. All right, boys, we go to the NFL. We start with the Bengals. Homer Show.
The Homer Show.
Is this straight across the board Bengals cover?
What do you think?
Well, this is embarrassing. This is really embarrassing.
We're just that high on them, man.
I'm just embarrassed. All right, next. Everybody in the division, we're going to put up their games each and every week. Ravens v. Jets. Ravens at -7 on the road. I still go with Baltimore.
Yeah, and we're all going to go Baltimore here, too.
Okay.
They're head and shoulders the better team here.
Okay.
Sauce Gardner is going to be fun to watch, though.
One thing Brian Billick pointed out, they have Lamar Jackson, but if you're looking for a lot of weapons in that offense, now they love to run the football. We saw that 2 years ago when they had all their backs healthy, and J.K. Dobbins. I hope he's healthy because what a great kid. I had a chance to meet him, and great player. Has a chance to be a great player. But their receivers, I don't know. All right. Next up, the Brownies. I have to believe they are – what's the spread on this game?
It's
Pick 'em.
It's a pick 'em game.
Oh, pick 'em game. Okay, pick 'em. I'm taking the Brownies.
I'm picking Carolina here. I believe Baker Mayfield.
The
is
Baker
gonna
revenge game.
Revenge, yep. Revenge game.
You're not loving that.
No,
I got no problem with that. No problem with that whatsoever.
Really,
None.
right.
You might love Mayfield or not like Mayfield. I love his fire and his passion and his toughness. Is he the best quarterback in the league? Obviously not. Is he top 15 in the league? 2 years ago he was. Last year he wasn't. But he is a gamer. Guy plays hurt. He's tough. Kansas City at Arizona. Kansas City, a 6-point spread. Arizona Cardinals.
I'm going Arizona too. I think they're a little underrated, and I think Kansas City is a little overrated. They might not win, but I think they're going to cover the spread here.
2 tutties from
Good
Travis
enough.
Kelce. They cover the spread.
Good
Win
enough.
by 7.
Okay. All right. And last but not least, I think we're only doing one more game, right? We have Tampa Bay on the road, late afternoon game in going to the Big D, don't mean no Dallas. Tampa Bay, a road favorite at -2.5 across the board. Everyone goes with Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. You can never bet against Brady, right?
And until he plays Burrow.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
betting against
that'll
them
be our
then.
Super Bowl matchup.
Yep.
We
And
talked
it
about it.
happens in January, I believe, down in Tampa.
Yeah.
So
No, the Super Bowl is in Arizona.
no, the Bengals play at the Bucs this year.
Yeah. That'll be fun. Okay, that's it. Paul, any comments there or numbers that stand out for you for those games this weekend?
Here's what I'm going to say. If you're looking at this weekend and you're looking at player props, this was a post that went viral on TikTok yesterday or the day before. There was an article on PicksWise about it. The Buffalo Bills yesterday, their team total for touchdowns was listed at 2.5. Under, over, whatever you were going to pick. It was 2.5. The Bills to score over 2.5 touchdowns was around minus 165, maybe 150 in that range, depending on where it closed. But the Bills kicker to make over 2.5 extra points was listed around plus 160. So you think to yourself, okay, that's probably the same value, right? It's probably the same thing that you're betting, assuming that the Bills score 3 touchdowns, assuming that he doesn't miss an extra point. You're getting basically the same thing there for much, much different sliding scales of value. So if you're looking at player props this weekend, I know I'm not talking about the games that you guys just looked at, but for anybody listening that's trying to look at value, look at different books, look at different lines, and try to split those gaps, because there are discrepancies out there that you can find, and those are the kinds of things you got to look out for.
Okay, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Before I let you go, Paul, but if you had to bet, if you were forced to bet, on the Bengals covering 6.5 against the Steelers, what are you doing?
A lot of the pros are saying that the
I didn't ask the pros. I'm asking you.
Well, I know you didn't, and I'm going to say that I really do think the Bengals cover. I think that this is a statement game because everybody's picking the Steelers to cover. There's some uncertainty there at quarterback. I'm taking the Bengals to cover this one at home. It's a really just a chance for the Bengals to come out and show that last year wasn't a fluke. I'm taking them at home.
Okay, well done. We thank Paul and wish him luck on his show. We'll be talking a lot about that.